What's going on, Daytona fans? In this video, I want to talk about this article that I found, 8 alternatives to the 2017 Charger. Before we start, I do want to say that I'm going to use a pointer tool, which is this $100 pencil. This is about as close as $100 as I'm going to get for right now. And I'm going to be using the Charger RT base as our rule of thumb. Right here on the Dodge website, as you can see, you can get a base RT for $32,800, and that's of course before all the tax titles and fees and whatever gets tacked on. This is just for the price of the car alone, and that's what it seems like in this article as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First car we've got is the 2017 Chrysler 300, priced at $32,340. Now this is a pretty good option because the Charger and Challengers and 300s are based off the same platform. So you're essentially getting the same car, but with a little bit of a luxury touch to it. Now, I had definitely looked into the Chrysler 300 SRT8s as my car instead of the Daytona. However, they discontinued the SRT trim, so it only came with the 5-speed, and I wanted the 8-speed. With that said though, the Chrysler 300 SRT is a very gangster looking car, and I loved it. I loved it in white with the black grille and all of that stuff. But of course, now you're going to have to look in the used market for one of these SRT models. They are definitely a rare find because they didn't produce them for very long. Now, the next car we're looking at is going to be the Chevrolet SS, and its base price is $46,600. Now, arguably, you can say that there are different trims within the Charger lineup that adds up to $46,000, but again, we're sticking to the base RT, which, as a review, is $32,800. So now you're looking at more than $10,000 to go for the Chevy SS instead. Don't be fooled though. Just because it's a base price doesn't mean it doesn't come loaded. This Chevy SS has a lot more tech and a lot more comfort than the base RT. The Chevy SS comes with a magnetic ride suspension. It definitely comes with leather and probably a lot of assistance packages that you'd have to tack on to the base RT. Now, the biggest takeaway is of course the magnetic ride suspension. You can either make it sport or comfort or normal, and that's a huge deal for a lot of people. Sometimes you want the ride to be a little bit stiffer so you can corner a little bit better, but on everyday use you may want it on the softer setting. I don't think you'll have to pay $46,600 at this point because they're all in the used market now. You may probably find one for less than that. The next car is the 2018 Genesis G8, going for $52,008. Now this is not a car that should be on the list because this is not going for the Charger customers. This Genesis is more in line with the Mercedes and the Audis and the Acuras and all those cars that are more luxury oriented. The Charger is none of that. The Charger is definitely more sporty, more aggressive, and more in your face than this Genesis G8. Not to say that this is a bad car, but this car just doesn't belong on this list, in my opinion. Next up, we have the 2017 Cadillac ATS. Here it is. And now we're talking about a price that's similar to the base RT. At $34,500, you're going to get a turbocharged 4-cylinder as the base engine right here. And of course, if you wanted to upgrade to the V6, you're going to have to add a package called the Premium Luxury Trim for an extra $10,000. So now you're going for a $44,000 car just to get a V6. And of course, the top of the line ATS is the 446 horsepower twin turbo V6. Now, how much is that? I'm not sure. This website doesn't tell me. But of course, the top of the line 446 horsepower doesn't compete with the base RT. You know, it's a completely different class of vehicle. Next up is the 2017 Dodge Challenger, and of course this $26,900 is for the price of the Pentastar V6. Not that that's a bad motor, but this price is also the absolute base Challenger you can get. And I'm talking about cloth seats, base 4-speaker radio, no spoiler, just the absolute basic Challenger that you can get. Now this is definitely a pretty good price, but if we bump it up to the RT, you can see that it's going for $31,600, so it's actually less than the 2018 Charger RT. If you bump yourself up to the base Challenger RT, now this is a pretty damn good price for a Challenger with a V8 in it. I'm sure you can find cheaper used ones out there, and I'm sure there are plenty of great deals for the 2018s out there to lower this price even more. Next up, we have the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that's going for $30,395. This particular vehicle does not belong in this article. Why do I say that? Well, because it's an SUV, guys, and this is the only SUV in this article. We're not talking about SUVs here. The Charger, of course, is a 4-door sedan. You could arguably say that the Charger has all-wheel drive, just like the Jeep, but you know what? We're not talking about all-wheel drive. We're not talking about ride height. We're just talking about cars that replaces the Charger, and in my mind, it has to be 4-door sedans, not SUVs. However, since they put this up, we can talk about it a little bit. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is definitely a great alternative choice. The ride height will definitely help, especially if you live in climates that get snow. Now, the base price of $30,000, you're going to get the Pentastar V6, and just like the Challenger, you're going to get an absolute base Jeep. You're going to get cloth seats, you're going to get crappy speakers. Everything about it is just going to be absolutely basic, and it's really just to put the car together and get it on the road. Next up, we have the 2018 Chevrolet Impala. I know they make a 2017. I don't know why they did the 18, but let's just go with it. And the base price is $27,895. Now, if anybody knows anything about the Impala, it's that it's a front-wheel drive family sedan. You could argue that the Charger is, but it is not a front-wheel drive vehicle. The Charger is a rear-wheel drive. And this vehicle is definitely geared more towards people with families, people who are not interested in aggressive speed and just wants to use a car from point A to point B. No thrills, just wants it to work. And that's what the Impala is. And I'm not saying this to downplay the Impala or to insult it, but you know what? That's what the clientele is for these vehicles. Last up, we have the Toyota Avalon, which is in the same category as the Chevrolet Impala. So I think those two should probably be put into a different category and not as an alternative to the Charger. Now, the Toyota Avalon retails for $33,300, and for that, you're actually going to get a lot. This is probably one of the few vehicles in this article that is actually pretty good for your money. For $33,000, you're going to get the V6 with 268 horsepower, which is not too bad. But really, this is the closest thing you can get to a base Lexus. I believe the base Lexus is an ES model, and it's just a variation of this Avalon. It's just a little bit nicer and a different badge in the front. Now, for the Avalon, you're going to get a lot, just like the Chevy SS. It doesn't come with magnetic ride suspension, but it comes with a really good tuned suspension designed for comfort. You're going to get your leather seats, you're going to get your premium audio, you're going to get your HIDs, you're going to get a lot of stuff for $33,000. And this Avalon is no joke, guys. If you're interested in serious comfort, reliability, and ample power, that's not a bad choice. However, I don't think this is a good choice for an alternative to the Charger, and I'm sure you guys can figure out why. Alright guys, that's it for... Alright Daytona fans, that's it for this article. 8 alternatives to the 2017 Charger. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. What cars do you think that this article might have missed? What cars do you think belong in a category such as the Dodge Charger? I don't think there's a whole lot of them out there. Dodge has made a very small niche for themselves, and they're definitely monopolizing it. I think the only good car that was in this article was the Chevy SS, and that's been discontinued. So I guess we can throw that out the window. So let me know, guys. I'd be very interested to hear whatever you say, guys, down there. It is your opinion. Let's not start an argument, okay? I want to start a conversation here, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. You know, if you say that the Prius is a good alternative, great. Just back it up as to why you think so. Don't just throw it out there, because then you're prone to getting trolled. All right, Daytona fans, that's it for this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.